Hey teachers, Brother Judd here with a teaching idea for Thursday. Don't know if you are following, the 5-day week plan, but if it's Wednesday night and you're trying to get a lesson ready for Matthew chapter 8 or over in Mark chapter 4, then possibly this could help. Or it will help whenever you do encounter this lesson. So the lesson, as you can tell based on the picture and the title, it's about Jesus calming the storm. And when you come down to the possible learning activities, it says display the following statement and questions for students to see as they come into class. So if you've been watching any of our trainings, you know that I teach a Zoom seminary class. And so a lot of these possible learning activities don't work for us. So I was trying to think, okay, I could have a slide, of these statements when the kids come in. But usually, especially on Zoom, if I don't get the students kind of participating right away, it's difficult to get them to get their cameras on and to engage. And so I was thinking, well, what could we do? So, the general idea here from Elder Rasband is he talks about things that we're afraid of. Single adults fear making commitments such as getting married, widows fear going forward alone, teenagers of not being accepted, grade schoolers, first aid, so on and so forth. He lists a number of fears. And so I thought, what could we do that would help the students start talking about fears in a very low-risk way so that we could have a better discussion on the back end of fears and overcoming fears and what faith in Jesus Christ has to do with that. And so something that we'll often do on Thursdays is we'll play some kind of game that establishes whoever the seminary champion is for the next week. They always look forward to it. It's something that we do on Thursday nights. And so what we did is we played a game where I said, okay, you've got 2 minutes. I want everyone to go find the scariest thing in your house. Show it on camera. Tell us why it's scary to you. And then you can all vote on who you think brought the scariest thing to class. Okay, super simple. Takes 2 minutes of them looking for something. Takes about 5 minutes on the back end. The activity really shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes overall. And it gets them talking in a very low-risk way. And it's usually funny, and they kind of get to see into each other's lives a bit. And so I'm not going to show you the entire activity. But again, I want you to watch how I use a low-risk activity to then segue into talking about Elder Rasband's quote, and then use that to get into the scriptures and talk about Jesus calming the storms in our life, and more importantly, about Jesus calming the storm in our hearts. So, welcome to my Zoom seminary class, and thanks for coming, and thanks for participating in this week's training. We're going to do a seminary challenge tonight, and here is the seminary challenge. You have 90 seconds to find the scariest thing, okay? Now, don't bring anything disgusting or gory or anything like that, okay? We don't want scary that way. Maybe it's like a bad grade on a test, and you think that's super scary. But you've got 90 seconds to find the scariest thing. On your marks, get set, turn your cameras off, and go find something scary. Siri, set timer for 90 seconds. And turn your cameras on. And Ben, you said the opening prayer, so you can call on the person to go first. Show me the scariest thing, and you will be seminary champion for next week.
Whenever Audrey brings an item, it's always fun. So, pick Audrey first.
All right, Audrey, you have been selected. Show us the scariest thing.
All right. Let me put the cuteness down.
It's real.
So, during COVID, my family and I were obsessed with building puzzles. So, I actually have one that's on my wall behind me, but I didn't want to take it down and bring it over. So, I have the box of the puzzle that we did. And it's all Disney villains.
Disney villains puzzle. But not only is it a Disney villains puzzle, it's a Disney villains puzzle she did with her family. And you can't tell me there was not yelling going on during the making of that puzzle.
It was the hardest puzzle we've ever done. It was awful.
Okay. Pretty scary, Audrey. I appreciate that. You pick the next person, Audrey. Well done. So I want you to be thinking about scary things, okay? Aeon, as the seminary class champion with your winning scary deodorant, will you please read this quote for us that I'm going to put up on the screen? This is from Elder Rasband, member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. I want you to look for and think about what's scary about the future. Ian, go for it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Ian, I know that was long. I appreciate your patience in reading it to us. Here's what I want you to do. I don't want anyone to answer for 30 seconds. I want you to look back through that quote, and I want you to see if there are any fears in there that you agree with. And be prepared to say, yeah, I'm actually a little bit afraid of that. Okay? So nobody say anything. 30 seconds. I'll tick off 30 seconds in my head. And then be prepared. I'm going to call on you. And if there's nothing in there that is that you're afraid of, then come tell us something that you might be afraid of. Okay? You got about anything in there that you could be like, yeah, I'm kind of afraid of that too, or something else?
I think I fear the fear of failure. I don't know. Just wouldn't want to fail anything.
Okay. Is that because when you get down to it, are you afraid of letting yourself down? Are you afraid of letting other people down? Are you afraid of the emotions that come with failure? Like, try to dig into that. What do you think? Why is failure such a
It's kind of like a bit of everything. Like I don't.
And then after Audrey's answer, we got a few other answers from students about things they're afraid of. Prospective missionary talking about what makes him nervous. Another student talked about how he was afraid of death and what comes after this life. And I really believe that, they didn't just toss, kind of simplistic answers or even silly answers off because, we'd already done the silly. We'd already, established that we're friends and we had fun with that little activity. And they were really willing to talk with one another about what they are afraid of. And then it was just a natural segue over to the scriptures of, okay, read these passages. What are the apostles afraid of? Well, they're afraid of the storm. All right, what do they ask Jesus to do? And they're like, well, hey, don't you care that we're having a hard time here? Well, why do you think Jesus was able to sleep through the storm, but the apostles weren't? And they had some great responses about, well, Jesus understood the plan. Maybe the apostles didn't quite understand the plan. Well, who do you know like that, who regardless of what storm of life seems to be coming, they're just very good at staying calm. And, these are the things where you wish the parents could listen in, because a lot of them said, I'm thankful for my dad and how he's always calm. I'm thankful that my mom always has a soft answer when things get kind of crazy at home. And just how much they admired the calm people in their lives, and then identified that those people are calm because they know him in whom they can trust because of their testimony of the Savior Jesus Christ. So love my class. I'm sure you love your classes. I hope this was helpful, that you can see how generating discussion, if you can do something that generates easy discussions on the front end with an activity, it leads to much deeper, much more meaningful discussions on the back end. So thanks for participating in the training, and God bless you and your students. Take care.